Alright, I'm all done turning my little doohickey on the wood lathe. And now we just kind of put it in there, give her a little tap. Now we're in there, nice and snug. But I can still kind of turn it a little bit. That is how you do that. Voila. Redneck ingenuity at its finest. He's lined up. Time to slam her home. Oh my God. So after a real pain in the ass struggle getting that line back up, the two shafts, inner and outer, it's finally back together. Sorry I didn't put that on video, but there would have been way too much cussing and yeah, it took a long time. Alright, well, since this is all put back together and now we have the tractor narrowed up, try to fit into 30-inch rows, it's time to keep going on the steering. Not sure if it's in the front steering box or in the Orbital, so we're going to tear apart the old Orbital valve that this got replaced and see what's going on inside. I've already taken apart the bottom side of this Orbital valve that's on the bottom of the steering column under, the turns. And so far it's all pretty standard, no real gaskets or nothing. I don't see any reason why the steering is doing what it's doing. But I'm going to keep taking this thing apart. No, the Orbital valve that was replaced into this tractor, at least this shaft would turn. This one won't turn. And what the tractor's doing is when you turn the steering wheel to the left, say like this one, it was really hard. You had to two-hand it, wouldn't want to turn. And then once it finally started, you stop and the wheel would just keep turning. It would just keep going all the way over. Well, you can't have that. Shaft turns freely, so it wasn't in that. So it's somewhere actually down in this valve something is stuck. Because that still won't turn. And I don't know, there's some sludge in that. That's some pretty thick crap. I don't know what a lot of this... I don't know what the hell that thing does. Maybe that moves? No, it's flat-faced on this part, so I don't know what the hell that does. I don't know. I'm going to keep pulling this thing apart. See what all this crap does. So after a little tapping with a very small punch to pull this down, I don't know how long this cap has been on here. Really not sure. It was taken off once. I opened it up and that thing is inside of that little channel. So that's probably not a good thing either. But this thing is tight and it should move fairly freely, I'm pretty sure. I think this is was a plugged filter issue. We did change that filter. From this point, I mean, the thing turns. Oh, well, I can't quite hold it. Here, tell you what, do this. Yeah, it turns pretty freely down a little ways. Into that first. Let me set this down. I know you probably can't see it, but this first one, this is a little gritty. Not bad, but then you get down towards this end of it, and there's, I mean, it's kind of rough, scored up a little bit. Don't know if you can see all that or not, but that, I think that's supposed to be a pretty well polished deal because that's supposed to turn inside with it, and none of that shit's turning. And the other thing is this part, this inner, get my freaking cloth out of the way, this inner part is supposed to kind of spin a little bit in here, and these two pins recenter it. Well, it's stuck to the one side, so that's leaving these holes open to keep the wheels, letting the pressure through for the wheels to keep turning. So I'm pretty sure this is our problem with the steering. All right, so for sure that was the issue, because this thing is supposed to turn in here. I mean, it doesn't turn much, just a very small amount where these two cogs are, these two little flaps. They're just spring material. They're supposed to be able to turn back and forth to align. I don't know if you can see
they'll, inside of these holes, they align with slots. There's little slots in there. I don't know if you can see them or not. Yeah. That's what lets your thing. And these springs are to, when you turn the steering wheel, it pushes this one way or the other, and then these springs return this to the center so everything's closed. Well, nothing, it wasn't reclosing, so that was definitely the problem.
So I took the brake clean to it and figured out I had a little cut in my thumb. That felt good, but oh shit, I can't do this. I need a little. How's that? Where are we at? What are we looking at?
Right there. So now, this thing turns real nice on here. Use a little bit of my air tool oil just to see if that's what made a difference, and I think there was just enough of a grit layer on it that it wouldn't do anything, because this is supposed to be able to turn that just that little bit, but didn't want to do anything.
I think we have our problem solved. Now to reassemble this thing that I was just working on. Got her all turning. The old one was hard. It wouldn't turn at all. Got my front end jacked up. We're gonna start this thing and try it. Alrighty. Build a little pressure first. Unless it lets bump to it, it doesn't keep going. Must have done everything here. Watch the steering wheel. So I'm gonna turn. Oh, I stopped. It stopped. It stopped. It stopped. It stopped.